The massive crystal chamber floated, space spinning slowly around two bright stars inside. 7 different alien races sat in a perfect circle. Each seat was built for a different type of creature. Some were tall and thin like walking sticks, others were short and covered in thick scales. A few looked like floating clouds of light. Commander Vexar stretched his long neck and looked at the holographic display in the center of the room. The image showed a small blue planet with white clouds swirling around it. Green and brown patches covered the surface. One large moon circled nearby. This is the planet they call Earth, said High Arbiter Wandras. His voice sounded like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. His body was made of pure energy, shifting between different colors. The creatures living there call themselves humans. General Thmar laughed, a sound like grinding rocks. His stone-like body was twice as tall as any human would be. Look at them. They still use fire to power their machines. Their weapons shoot small pieces of metal. How can such simple beings be worth our time? The other council members looked at the data streaming across their screens. Earth had 7 billion humans living on it. They were split into many different groups that often fought each other. Their technology was thousands of years behind the most basic galactic dominion tools. They have discovered atomic energy, noted scientist Claith. Her insect-like body clicked as she moved. But they use it to make bombs, to fight each other, not to travel between stars. Exactly why we must act now, said Vexar, before they become a real threat to galactic peace. We have seen this pattern before. Young species learn to split atoms, then they spread across space like a disease. Better to stop them while they are weak. High Orbiter Quandris waved one of his energy arms. The display changed to show Earth's military forces. Thousands of primitive aircraft flew through the sky. Ships sailed on the oceans firing crude missiles. Soldiers marched carrying weapons that could barely damage Dominion armor. Intelligence reports say they have no shields. Quandris continued. No energy weapons, no faster than light travel, except for a few basic ships that can barely reach their own moon. Their largest weapons can destroy cities but cannot even scratch our ship holes. The council members murmured agreement. In their long history, they had conquered hundreds of worlds. Most species surrendered immediately when they saw the Dominion fleet. The few that fought back were defeated within hours. I propose immediate invasion and colonization, said Thmar. My battle fleets can have this Earth under control in less than 3 of their days. The humans will make good workers once they understand their place. One by one, each council member cast their vote. The result appeared in glowing numbers above the display. 847 votes for invasion, 0 against. It is decided, announced Quandris. Earth will be brought into the Dominion. General Thmar, prepare your fleets. Show the mercy if they surrender quickly. If they resist, he let his words trail off. I understand. High Arbiter Thmar replied. I will send 50,000 ships, more than enough to handle any resistance these humans might offer. While the council made their plans far across the galaxy, Captain Kim Jo sat in his small observation post on the edge of Earth's solar system. He was part of the Korean Space Force, one of Earth's newest military branches. His job was to watch for asteroids or other space dangers that might threaten Earth. For the past 3 days, his instruments had been picking up strange signals. They came from beyond the outer planets, from the deep darkness between stars. The signals were not natural. Something was out there, something that used technology. Joe called his commanding officer on Earth, Admiral Lee Dongwook. Sir, I am detecting artificial signals from outside our solar system. Patterns are too complex to be natural phenomena. Admiral Lee was in his office in Seoul looking over reports from around the world. Earth's military had been preparing for the possibility of alien contact for decades. Most people thought it was impossible, but a few leaders took it seriously. Send me all the data you have, Lee ordered. I will contact Dr. Park So-young at the Xenobiology Institute. If these signals are from aliens, she will know what to do. Dr. Park worked in a small laboratory filled with computers and radio telescopes. She had spent her whole career studying the possibility of alien life. When the data from Captain J arrived, she knew immediately that Earth was no longer alone. The signals were mathematical patterns mixed with what looked like star charts. Whoever sent them knew about physics and astronomy. More importantly, the signals were getting stronger. Whatever was sending them was getting closer to Earth. Park called an emergency meeting with Earth's top scientists and military leaders. Representatives from every country gathered in a secure conference room beneath the United Nations building in New York. The signals are definitely from an intelligent source, Park explained to the assembled group. Based on the increasing signal strength, I estimate they will reach our solar system within 72 hours. General Miller from the United States asked, "Are they trying to communicate with us?" "I do not think so," Park replied. "These signals look more like military communications. They are coordinating movement of multiple objects through space. I believe we are about to be visited by an alien military force." The room fell silent. Every person there understood what this meant. Humanity was about to face the greatest challenge in its history. They had always wondered if aliens existed. Now they would find out if humanity could survive meeting them. Admiral Lee stood up. "We must prepare for the worst while hoping for the best. All military forces will be placed on highest alert." Dr. Park continued, "Monitoring these signals, tell us everything you can learn about who is coming and what they want." As the meeting ended, Captain J sent another urgent message from his outpost. "Sir, I am now detecting multiple large objects entering the outer edge of our solar system. They are moving faster than anything we have ever built. Estimate arrival at Earth orbit in 48 hours. The vote had been cast. The Galactic Dominion's warfleet was coming to Earth. Confident in their easy victory, they expected humans to surrender without a fight like so many species before them. But they did not understand humans. They did not know that humans had been fighting wars for thousands of years. They did not know that humans never surrendered easily, especially when fighting for their home world. Greatest battle in galactic history was about to begin. The alien fleet appeared near Mars like a dark cloud blocking out the stars. 50,000 ships of every size and shape moved in perfect formation. The smallest vessels were twice as large as Earth's biggest battleships. The command ships were massive cities floating through space. Captain Kim J watched his instruments go crazy as the alien fleet approached. His small squadron of 12 Ships looked like toys compared to the alien armada, but his orders were clear. Protect Earth at any cost, all ships. This is Captain J. He spoke into his radio. We knew this day might come. Today, we find out what humans are really made of. The other 11 ships. Captains responded one by one. Captain Ung-Huan commanded a fast attack ship filled with missiles. Captain Song-Myeng led a heavy cruiser with the biggest guns Earth could build. The rest of the squadron was made up of smaller patrol ships, each carrying a crew of 20 to 30 people. Incoming transmission from the alien fleet, reported Lieutenant Park Jun-Ho from the communication station. The main screen flickered and showed the face of Fleet Admiral Mordek. He looked like a giant lizard with golden scales and 4 arms. His voice was deep and threatening. I am Fleet Admiral Mordek of the Galactic Dominion. Your primitive world has been chosen for immediate colonization. Surrender now and your deaths will be quick. Resist and we will make your species suffer before we destroy you. Captain J stood up and faced the screen. I am Captain Kim J of the United Earth Defense Force. You have entered sovereign Earth space without permission. Leave immediately or face the consequences. Mork stared at the human for a moment, then began laughing. The sound was like a roaring engine. You dare threaten me, your 12 tiny ships, against my 50,000. Your species must be even more stupid than our report suggested. Maybe we are stupid, Jay replied calmly. But we are also stubborn. Last warning. Leave our space or we will make you leave. Mac's laughter stopped. Destroy them. Let the people of Earth see what happens to those who defy the Dominion. The alien fleet moved forward. Energy weapons began charging with a sound like thunder. The Dominion ships were built for overwhelming displays of power. Their strategy was always the same. Show massive force, demand surrender, then occupy the defeated world. But Captain J. Ho had studied every piece of alien technology that Dr. Park So Young had analyzed. Earth scientists had worked day and night to find weaknesses in alien ship designs. They discovered that Dominion shields operated on specific frequency patterns. If you could match those frequency, the shields became useless. All ships execute pattern Alpha. G ordered. The 12 Earth ships suddenly scattered in different directions. Instead of forming a battle line like civilized military forces, they spread out randomly. Some ships flew straight at the aliens, others curved around in wide circles. 2 ships actually flew away from the battle only to turn around and attack from behind. Engineer Croy Minu had worked for 3 days without sleep to modify their weapons. Earth missiles now carried frequency generators that could disrupt alien shields. The modifications were crude and dangerous. Half the missiles would probably explode in their launch tubes, but the other half might actually damage alien ships. Fire everything, J shouted. Hundreds of modified missiles streaked toward the alien fleet. Most exploded harmlessly against Dominion shields, but some missiles found the right frequency and punched through. Explosions blossomed across the hulls of 3 massive alien dreadnoughts. Admiral Morek watched in shock as his ships took damage. How is this possible? Their weapons should not be able to penetrate our shields. Sir, they are using some kind of frequency modulation, reported his science officer. Their missiles are changing frequency patterns randomly until they find a match. Impossible. No primitive species has ever discovered. Shield harmonics, but the evidence was right in front of him. 3 of his most powerful ships were venting atmosphere and spinning out of control. The humans had somehow found a weakness that Dominion scientists said did not exist. Captain Asen Wan's ship was hit by return fire and began falling toward Mars. Instead of trying to escape, he aimed his damaged ship directly at an alien battle cruiser. For Earth, he shouted over the radio as his ship slammed into the alien vessel at full speed. Both ships exploded in a ball of fire that could be seen from Earth. Sergeant Yun Hana was leading a boarding party when her transport ship was captured by alien tractor beams. Instead of surrendering, she ordered her soldiers to put on space suits and continue the mission on foot. We are going to board their ship and take it from the inside, she told her 20-man team. They will not expect us to be crazy enough to try this. Using cutting tools and explosives, Hana's team burned through the alien ship's hull. They found themselves in a corridor filled with strange atmosphere and weird gravity. The aliens inside had never faced enemies who attacked from within their own ships. The human soldiers moved fast and struck hard. They used alien weapons taken from defeated guards. They learned alien technology by trial and error, often making dangerous mistakes that should have killed them, but somehow worked. Dr. Park So-young was monitoring the battle from Earth. She watched as human ships used tactics that made no sense according to military science. Ships that should retreat instead attacked. Crews that should surrender instead fought harder. They are not fighting like any species we have studied, she told Admiral Lee Dongwook. Our people are treating this like a street fight instead of a space battle. Good, Lee replied. Street fights are something humans know how to win. The battle lasted 6 hours. When it was over, 11 of the 12 human ships were destroyed or disabled. Captain Jay's ship was the only one still able to fight, and it was badly damaged. But the aliens had lost 23 ships completely destroyed, and 47 more heavily damaged. Admiral Mork stared at his casualty reports in disbelief. How had primitive humans destroyed so many advanced Dominion vessels? Send a message to the High Council, Mord ordered. Request immediate reinforcements. These humans fight like nothing we have ever encountered. They do not follow any logical military doctrine. They attack when they should retreat. They sacrifice themselves when they should surrender. How many reinforcements should I request? Asked his communications officer. Mork looked at the wreckage floating around Mars orbit. Human debris was mixed with alien metal, but the humans had made their point. They would not surrender easily. Request 200,000 ships, he said finally, and tell the council that their intelligence reports about humans were completely wrong. These creatures are not civilized. They are something else entirely. Back on Earth, Admiral Lee received Captain Jay's final report. The young captain had proven that humans could hurt the aliens, but everyone knew this was just the beginning. Prepare Phase 2 of the defense plan, Lee ordered. The real battle is about to start. Dr. Park looked at her alien technology samples and smiled grimly. Now we know they can bleed. Let us see if we can make them afraid. 200,000 alien ships arrived at Earth like an angry swarm of metal locusts. Admiral Mork had convinced the Galactic Council that humans were more dangerous than First believed, but he still expected. Quick victory. No primitive species could stand against the might of the full Dominion fleet. Commander Vexar arrived to take personal command of the invasion. His flagship was a massive fortress that could destroy entire cities with a single shot. He studied the reports from the first battle and shook his reptilian head in confusion. These humans use no strategy, he told his staff officers. They attack in random patterns. They sacrifice valuable ships for minor tactical advantages. They fight like wild animals instead of intelligent beings. Should we change our battle plans? Asked his tactical officer. No, Vexar replied. We will use overwhelming force. Even wild animals flee when faced with certain death. But Commander Vexar did not understand humans. On Earth, Admiral Lee Dong-Wook was preparing defenses that made no sense to alien military thinking. Instead of protecting major cities or military bases, human forces were scattered randomly across the planet. Colonel Kang Tai-jun commanded a group of modified civilian ships hiding in the asteroid belt. His vessels looked like mining equipment and transport trucks. The aliens would never suspect that garbage haulers and ice miners could be turned into warships. Remember, Kang told his captains over encrypted radio, we are not trying to win battles. We are trying to make them afraid, hit them when they do not expect it, run away before they can fight back, make them wonder where the next attack will come from. Dr. Nam Ye-jin worked in a secret laboratory beneath the mountains of Korea. She had been studying alien biology from the tissue samples recovered after the first battle. Each alien species had different weaknesses. The reptilian hegemony could not handle certain chemical compounds. The Silicon Confederacy was vulnerable to specific sound frequencies. I am not making weapons, she explained to her research team. I am making nightmares tailored to each species. Her biological weapons were designed to cause fear rather than death. Aliens would survive her attacks, but they would remember the terror for the rest of their lives. Fear spreads faster than any disease. Captain Ah-sun Hwan had survived his ship collision during the first battle. Now he commanded a new type of vessel built specifically for suicide attacks. The ship looked normal from outside, but inside it was mostly explosives with just enough life support to keep the crew alive during their final mission. We are not throwing our lives away, he told his volunteer crew. We are investing our lives to save our world. Every alien ship we destroy saves 1,000 human lives. The second battle began when the alien fleet moved into Earth orbit. They expected to see massive defense stations and organized military formations. Instead, they found nothing. Earth's orbital space seemed empty except for a few communication satellites. Where are their defenses? Fear asked his sensor operators. We detect no major military installations in orbit, sir. Their main fleet appears to be hiding behind their moon. Cowards, Vexar sneered. Begin bombardment of their major population centers. Once they see their cities burning, they will surrender quickly. But when the alien bombardment beams fired toward Earth, something unexpected happened. The weapons hit invisible shields that flickered into existence for just a few seconds. The shields were not strong enough to stop the alien weapons completely, but they scattered the energy beams harmlessly into space. What was that? Vexar demanded. Unconfound technology, sir. The shields appeared to be projected from multiple small sources rather than large generators. We cannot locate the source. Points. What the aliens did not know was that Earth had learned to build tiny shield generators that could be hidden anywhere. Every building, every vehicle, every ship had one. When alien weapons fired, thousands of small shields activated simultaneously, creating a protective web around the entire planet. Colonel Kang chose that moment to launch his first attack. His disguised civilian ships suddenly appeared throughout the alien formation. Garbage trucks launched swarms of guided missiles. Ice miners fired mining lasers that had been modified into cutting beams. Transport ships released clouds of metal fragments that tore through alien hulls like bullets. The attack lasted only 10 minutes before Kang's ships scattered and disappeared, but they left behind 18 destroyed alien vessels and dozens more damaged. How did civilian ships penetrate our formation without being detected? Vexar roared, sir. Our sensors are calibrated to ignore non-military vessels. Those ships registered as harmless civilian craft until they opened fire. Dr. Nam's biological weapons arrived next. Tiny pods launched from hidden positions on asteroids and space debris. The pods looked like space junk, so the aliens ignored them. When the pods reached alien ships, they released clouds of specially designed microorganisms. The creatures did not kill the aliens, but they caused horrible hallucinations and panic attacks. Reptilian soldiers saw their own scales falling off. Silicon beings felt their crystal bodies cracking and dissolving. Ethereal entities experienced the terror of becoming solid and trapped in matter. Within hours, 20,000 alien crew members were unable to perform their duties. They cowered in their quarters, afraid to touch anything or trust their own senses. Sir, our medical officers report mass psychological breakdown among the crew, reported Vexar's chief medical officer. The symptoms appear to be caused by some form of biological warfare agent. Impossible, Vexar insisted. Humans do not have the technology for Interesse's biological weapons, but the evidence was undeniable. Human scientists had somehow created weapons that attacked the mind rather than the body. It was a form of warfare that no civilized species had ever considered. The worst surprise came when Captain O la 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 launched his suicide ships. The aliens expected kamikazes to fly straight at their targets. Instead, O's ships pretended to be damaged vessels drifting helplessly through space. When alien rescue ships tried to capture the disabled human vessels, O's crews waited until the aliens brought them inside their own ships. Then they detonated their massive explosive charges from within the alien hulls. 5 of the largest alien command ships were destroyed from the inside. Thousands of alien crew members died when their own ships exploded around them. Commander Vexar watched his mighty fleet being picked apart by tactics that violated every principle of civilized warfare. These humans did not fight like soldiers, they fought like cornered animals with nothing left to lose. Send a message to the High Council, he ordered with a trembling voice. Request immediate withdrawal of all non-essential personnel. These humans are not a primitive species, they are something far more dangerous. What Should I tell the council they are? Asked his communications officer, Beaksar. Looked at the reports streaming across his screens. Human attacks were becoming more frequent and more creative. His own soldiers were starting to panic every time they saw unidentified objects in space. Tell them the humans are insane, he said finally. They fight wars the way we fight nightmares, and I'm beginning to think they might actually win on Earth. Admiral Lee read the latest battle reports with grim satisfaction. The aliens were learning that humans did not play by anyone else's rules. The real war was just beginning. Luna Base was humanity's oldest permanent settlement beyond Earth. For 50 years humans had lived and worked on the moon, mining rare metals and conducting scientific research. When the alien invasion began, the base seemed like an obvious target. Commander Vexar ordered his fleet to capture Luna Base intact. The facility would make an excellent forward command post for the final assault on Earth. His intelligence officers reported that 10,000 humans lived and worked in the underground complex. Finally, an easy victory, Vexter told his staff. We will demonstrate Dominion power by conquering their moon base. When Earth sees their lunar colony fall, they will understand that resistance is hopeless. But Admiral Lee Dongwook had other plans for Luna Base. For 3 months, human engineers had been secretly converting the mining facility into the largest explosive device ever built. Every tunnel was packed with nuclear charges. Every storage area held chemical bombs. The entire base had become one massive trap waiting to spring. Dr. Park So Young monitored alien communications from her hidden laboratory on Earth. They are moving 30,000 ships into position around Luna Base, she reported, exactly as we predicted. Colonel B. Hunu commanded the Luna Base's defense force. His orders were simple: make the aliens think they were winning right up until the moment of detonation. The 1,000 human soldiers on Luna knew they would not survive the mission. They had volunteered anyway. Today we make history, Bay told his troops. The aliens think they are capturing a prize. Instead, they are walking into the biggest trap humans have ever set. The alien assault began at dawn Earth time. Massive ships surrounded the moon and began landing troops on the surface. Vestar watched from his flagship as his soldiers advanced toward the base entrances. Human defenders fought desperately to protect each tunnel and corridor. They used every weapon they had, fighting for every meter of ground. To alien observers, it looked like humans were making their final stand to protect their most important base. Lieutenant Colonel Jin Wooik led the fake defense of the main command center. His soldiers retreated slowly through the base, always staying just ahead of the advancing aliens. Every few hundred meters, they would make a stand and fight fiercely before falling back. Again, sir, the humans are retreating to their deepest levels, reported the alien ground commander. They appear to be making a final stand around their main computer core. Vexar smiled with satisfaction. Excellent. Once we control their computers, we will have access to all their military secrets. Continue the assault. What the aliens did not know was that every human computer on Luna had been wiped clean months ago. Valuable data they were fighting to capture was actually a collection of human music, poetry, and comedy shows. Dr. Park had thought it would be funny for aliens to die trying to steal Entertainment files. Captain Asun Hyun commanded a group of ships hiding on the far side of the moon. His job was to wait until the exact right moment, then trigger the massive explosion. Timing was critical. Too early and some aliens might escape. Too late and they might detect the trap. All ships report ready. O told Admiral Lee over secure communication. Alien fleet is in position. 30,000 ships within the blast radius just as planned. Master Sergeant Lim Keong was fighting in the deepest levels of Luna Base when the order came through his radio. All personnel, immediate evacuation. Operation Wildfire commences in 60 seconds, but there was nowhere to evacuate to. The humans on Luna Base had known from the beginning that this was a one-way mission. They had 60 seconds to make peace with their decision. It has been an honor serving with you all, Lim told his soldiers over the radio. See you on the other side. The explosion began deep in Luna's core and spread outward at the speed of light. Nuclear charges detonated in perfect sequence, turning the entire moon into a massive bomb. The explosion was so bright it could be seen clearly from Earth during daytime. 30,000 alien ships vanished in the nuclear fire. The electromagnetic pulse from the explosion disabled another 50,000 vessels throughout the solar system. In less than 10 seconds, the Dominion fleet was reduced from 200,000 ships to barely 100,000. Commander Vexar's flagship was far enough away to survive, but the blast wave threw his massive ship spinning through space like a toy. When his systems came back online, he stared in horror at the sensor readings. Report, he demanded. Sir, Luna Base was apparently a trap, his tactical officer said with a shaking voice. The humans converted their entire moon into a weapon. We have lost 40% of our fleet. Impossible. No species would destroy their own moon, sir. Long-range sensors confirm that Luna no longer exists. Debris field is expanding rapidly. The humans sacrificed their oldest space colony to destroy our ships. Bexar felt something he had never experienced before in his long military career. Fear. What kind of species would destroy their own moon to win a battle? What other impossible weapons did humans have? Waiting on Earth, Admiral Lee watched the explosion through his telescopes. The loss of Luna Base was a terrible price to pay, but it had accomplished its goal. The alien fleet was crippled, and more importantly, they were now afraid. Phase 3 begins now, Lee ordered. All strike teams execute Operation Wildfire. Target their home worlds. Dr. Park smiled grimly as she activated humanity's most secret weapons. For months, human agents had been infiltrating alien territory using captured Dominion ships. Small teams of humans were now positioned near every major alien world in the galaxy. Captain Song Miang commanded one of these deep strike teams. Her modified alien vessel had traveled thousands of light years to reach the ethereal collective's home system. The journey had taken 3 months, but now she was in position to strike at the heart of alien civilization. Remember, she told her crew of 50 volunteers, we are not trying to conquer their world. We are trying to teach them that attacking Earth was the biggest mistake they ever made. Similar teams were approaching every major Dominion world simultaneously. Humans had learned to reverse engineer alien faster than light technology and improve They could now travel between stars, faster than the aliens who had invented the technology. Commander Bei Hunu led the assault on the Silicon Confederacy's crystal worlds. His team carried sonic weapons specifically designed to shatter the crystal structures that silicon-based life forms called home. The weapons would not kill the aliens, but they would destroy everything the silicon beings considered beautiful and sacred. Back in the solar system, the surviving alien fleet was in complete chaos. Ships fled in random directions. Commanders issued contradictory orders. Some vessels tried to continue the attack on Earth while others prepared to retreat to safe distance. Sir, we are receiving surrender requests from 17 different ship commanders, reported Vexeter's communications officer. They are requesting permission to withdraw from the combat zone. Vexar wanted to grant those requests. Every instinct told him to flee while he still could, but he knew the High Council would execute him if he returned home defeated by a primitive species. Denied, he said. Finally, all ships will continue the assault. We will not be defeated by humans. But deep down, Vexar knew the truth. They were not fighting humans anymore. They were fighting something much more dangerous, a species that had turned warfare into an art form based on sacrifice and madness. The real battle was just beginning. The war changed forever when human strike teams reached alien home worlds. Captain Songi's young ship emerged from faster-than-light travel near the ethereal collective's capital planet, Luminos Prime. The world glowed with pure energy, home to beings made of living light who had never known physical violence. Target the consciousness network hubs. Song ordered her crew, we are going to give them nightmares they will never forget. Her team launched specially designed electromagnetic bombs that interfered with the ethereal beings' shared consciousness. For the first time in their species' history, the ethereals experienced individual terror instead of collective calm. Commander Bei Hyan-Su and LT Lunk and GT's assault on the Silicon Confederacy was even more devastating. His sonic weapons created harmonic frequencies that shattered the crystal cities where silicon-based life forms lived. The beings themselves survived, but their beautiful homes crumbled to dust. This is for every human who died defending Earth, Bei said as he watched alien crystal palaces collapse into rubble. Back in the Dominion Council chamber, High Arbiter Wandris received reports that made no sense. How can primitive humans be attacking our home worlds? They do not have faster-than-light technology. Sir, the reports are confirmed. His aide replied nervously. Human ships are simultaneously attacking 17 different systems. They appear to be using modified versions of our own starships. General Thmar's stone features cracked with stress. This is impossible. How did they learn our technology so quickly? We have studied other species for centuries before mastering their tools. What the aliens did not understand was human adaptability. While they spent decades carefully studying new technology, humans simply started using it and figured out improvements. Through trial and error, human engineers had taken alien ships apart and put them back together in ways the original builders never imagined. Lieutenant Colonel Jin Wiuik led the most daring attack of all, a direct assault on Nexus Prime itself, the Dominion's capital world. His small fleet of modified alien ships approached the heavily defended system, pretending to be refugees fleeing from Earth. Nexus. Control, this is Fleet Commander Zalthus. Requesting emergency docking, Jin spoke into his radio, using a voice modifier to sound like the reptilian species, human. Savages have destroyed our entire battle group. We need immediate medical assistance. The Nexus Prime Defense Fleet allowed the refugees to dock at the orbital stations. Jin's team spread throughout the massive space stations, planting explosive devices and biological weapons designed specifically for each alien species living there. Dr. Namya Jin had outdone herself creating species-specific terror weapons. Her biological agents did not kill, but they caused each alien race to experience their worst possible fears made real. Reptilians felt their scales turning to ice. Silicon beings experienced the horror of their crystal bodies melting. Ethereals found themselves trapped in solid matter, unable to return to their energy state. We are not monsters, Nam had told her research team. We are teachers. We are teaching them what fear feels like. The psychological warfare was devastating. Alien soldiers who survived human attacks spread stories of Earth's impossible weapons throughout the galaxy. Fear traveled faster than any starship, reaching worlds that humans had never visited. On the battlefield around Earth, Commander Vexeter watched his mighty fleet disintegrate. Ships deserted their positions daily. Entire battle groups refused to attack Earth's remaining defenders. Some alien crews mutinied against their own officers rather than face human weapons. Sir, the crew of the dreadnought destroyers Pride has barricaded themselves in their quarters, reported his tactical officer. They refuse to participate in any more attacks against human targets. Execute them for cowardice. Vexeter ordered. Sir, our own crew is beginning to show similar symptoms. Morale is collapsing throughout the fleet. The soldiers are calling humans the nightmare species. Vexar looked at his reflection in the command screen. His golden scales had lost their luster. His forearms trembled when he tried to give orders. He was beginning to understand that humans were not just winning battles, they were winning the war by destroying alien confidence in their own superiority. Captain Kim Jae-ho, promoted to admiral after his heroic defense in the first battle, now commanded Earth's counteroffensive. His fleet consisted entirely of captured alien ships modified with human innovations. The vessels looked familiar to alien forces, but they fought with human tactics. All ships remember the plan. Jay broadcast to his captains. We are not trying to destroy their fleet. We are trying to make them destroy themselves. Human ships attacked alien formations using psychological warfare techniques. They would strike quickly, then retreat while broadcasting recordings of alien soldiers screaming in terror. They used holographic projectors to make their small fleet look much larger than it really was. Most effective, all they released captured alien prisoners who told stories of human brutality. The stories were mostly true, but they had been carefully selected to spread maximum fear among alien troops. Master Sergeant Lim Ki-young had survived the Luna base explosion by hiding in a deep mining tunnel. Now he led commando raids against alien ships using techniques that no civilized species would consider acceptable. His teams would sneak aboard alien vessels and leave behind Recordings of human voices speaking in alien languages, the voices whispered. Threats and promised horrible deaths to anyone who continued fighting. Alien crew members would find these recordings hidden in their personal quarters, their food supplies, even their sleeping areas. We are inside your ships, the voices would whisper. We are watching you. We know where you sleep. We know what you fear. Stop fighting or we will make your nightmares come true. The psychological impact was devastating. Alien soldiers began seeing humans everywhere. Even when no humans were present, they jumped at shadows and fired their weapons at imaginary threats. Many ships had to be withdrawn from combat because their crews were too frightened to function. Dr. Park So Young monitored alien communications and discovered something wonderful. The aliens were starting to fight each other. Different species within the Dominion began blaming each other for the failed invasion. The reptilians say the silicon beings provided faulty intelligence about human capabilities, she reported to Admiral Lee. The ethereals claimed the insect species sabotaged the invasion fleet. They are losing trust in each other. Good, Lee replied. A divided enemy is a defeated enemy. The final blow came when human strike teams simultaneously broadcast a message to every alien home world in the galaxy. The message was simple but terrifying. We are humans. You voted to invade our world and kill our people. Now you will learn what it means to fight a species that never surrenders. We have studied your weaknesses. We have infiltrated your homes. We are coming for all of you. You can surrender now, or we will teach your children what it feels like to be afraid. The broadcast was accompanied by footage of human attacks on alien world. The images showed crystal cities crumbling, energy beings screaming in terror, and proud warrior species cowering in fear of human weapons. Within hours, the Galactic Dominion Council received surrender offers from over 300 member worlds. Entire sectors declared their independence from Dominion rule rather than face human retaliation. High Arbiter Wandras called an emergency council session. We must end this war immediately, he declared. The humans are not just defeating our military, they are destroying our entire civilization through fear. I agree, said General Thmar, his stone body cracked and weathered by stress. These humans fight without honor or mercy. They use weapons we never imagined. They think like predators instead of soldiers. Commander Vexar appeared on the Council's communication screen from his flagship orbiting Earth. His once proud appearance was broken and defeated. I recommend immediate withdrawal and negotiation, he said in a quiet voice. We cannot win this war. Humans have turned our own strength against us. Every day we continue fighting, they grow stronger while we grow weaker. The vote was unanimous, 84-70, in favor of immediate ceasefire and surrender negotiations. It was exactly the reverse of their original vote to invade Earth, but they humans were not finished yet.